Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. I've got a big voice, and when I know I've got a microphone, I'll probably go too soft. Interesting talking after Jay. It's not easy being perfect. I should know because I've been trying to do just that for most of my life. If I was good enough, then people would like me. If I wasn't good enough, even if at my goodest, then I had to be perfect. In 1994, my young husband died after battling cancer for 2 years. And although it had been a difficult marriage, I did grieve for the loss of a partner and the loss of a father to my 6 and 8-year-old children. So I knew that I had to be the best mother that I could be. I had to be a perfect mother. And I did everything that I could. I was a fantastic parent. I didn't need any help from anybody, but I did need them to think I was doing a wonderful job, and I sucked up the praise of my family and friends. I continued the facade of the romantic widow bringing up her children all alone, and I knew that I couldn't show my vulnerabilities. I had to be sweet and good and not argue and still be perfect. And everyone thought I was doing a great job. But I didn't show them when things were hard for me. I couldn't accept their help. And I found things getting a bit harder, and cracks started to appear. In early 2000, Y2K didn't happen. But on return from a trip to South Africa, I felt particularly vulnerable. I had dragged my children halfway across the world on a misguided belief that I had a duty to my late husband for my children to know where he came from. I came from there too. It was the right thing to do. And I felt my world starting to crumble. I began to feel anxious and feel nauseous and all prickly up my back, just over small things. Dinners became takeaways, shopping and cooking became too much effort. And I was finding things difficult to cope with. The final breaking point came when I had a major falling out with a very good friend. And I found myself going from this anxious, but still managing somehow to cope, person, to this scared and sobbing little girl who didn't have any friends. And I knew that I needed to get help. And it was made worse by thoughts of, this is stupid. You should be able to just do things. You're intelligent and you're educated and not to mention perfect. Surely you could just, do it all. But that wasn't to be. And I got the help that I needed. I was admitted to Hollywood Clinic, and I was still fighting and adamant that I didn't need to be there. I could handle this. And I said as much to the psychiatrist. But I didn't know how to be anywhere else. I needed to learn how to do that. There were a number of sessions during the day for us to attend. The one that I enjoyed most was art therapy. And I painted stereotypical, blackened, wizened, charred out, burnt trees on a barren landscape. Another session was a talk about what we could expect when we left the clinic. And they spoke about the medications we might be on, how long we would need to be on them, and all these sorts of things. And I felt that familiar prickle and nausea as I spiraled into a panic. I was terrified that I wouldn't get well. And I, again, with the thoughts of, surely I wouldn't need the medication for long. Surely I will come out of this. I didn't know then that 16 years later I'd still be taking antidepressants. and thankfully as well. And I found myself unable to clamber out of that pit until eventually I took the tiny bit of Valium that had been offered me that I had refused, and I was brought back down to my now new normal, non-perfect reality. It really scared me. That panic attack really scared me. And I found myself thinking that I needed to find a way to let the light back in if something like that happened again. And in my strong moments, I decided that I was going to make a poster for my room. And so I went off to the nearby art supply shop and I looked around for something that I could use to not be messy in my room. And I found the perfect thing. Coloured square gum paper. And it took me back to my childhood when I spent hours licking and sticking and making art. And I took this gum paper back to my room. I spread out a long piece of brown paper and I cut and tore nice big capital letters, intertwined and embellished with beautiful words of love and encouragement and flowers. I am going to get well. That poster would speak to me when I couldn't. My sensible self would talk to my anxious self when I couldn't. It calmed me down to know that I had a sensible self. And it worked. Not perfectly, but it worked. 2 weeks after that, I returned home, still very fragile and vulnerable, understandably. And I came home to the enormity of the fact that I had left my children in the care of a paid live-in babysitter for 2 weeks. As far as I was concerned, that was not a sign of a perfect mother. But I had been given some resources and tools from the clinic. I had learned about cognitive behavior therapy, art therapy, relaxation, and exercise, going for walks. And a couple of months after that, I found myself on a long walk before collecting my kids from school. And as usual, my thoughts turned towards my mental health and my situation. But this time, instead of them becoming introspective and turning inwards, they became expansive. And I experienced a rare and precious moment of clarity. I didn't need to be perfect anymore. It was the biggest prize that you could imagine. I'm getting goosebumps thinking of that occasion. And when I got home, I wrote a poem in golden pen on beautiful paper. The gift. I have given myself a gift, most precious and invaluable. It is me. With any unwrapping, I am nervous and excited. Will it be something I want? Will it be something I like? I take the risk of being disappointed. I know I won't be. All my friends have one, and they like mine. They know I'll enjoy my present. I will treasure it. I will not wrap it in cotton wool. I will not keep it for best like dinner party china. I will proudly show my gift with all its chips and scratches. I will be myself.